Hello, 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 my sisters. Woo! Hello. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Somebody talk to me.
Good afternoon.
Talking.
Good afternoon. What's up?
Now we're all here.
Good afternoon, my beautiful sisters. Come on in
I
here,
forgot to unmute myself.
I know. I mean, we come on just to talk, we are dancing and singing. Like, okay, what's up?
I was like, where am I?
Got caught up in the music.
We
Got
caught up in the
time.
music, girl. I'm telling you, but it's a great one. I'm telling you, come on in, everybody, join us and like and share our page and just kind of engage with us today. It is
Come
going to be
on,
a
come on.
topic today, and we're going to just have fun and communicate with each other and connect with our sisters and our brothers. So just tell somebody, come on, come on. We're
Good
on.
morning, Marion.
This
Good
live
morning.
is
Good
on.
afternoon.
Can y'all believe it's June? We are here. We
Already.
are here. And we have such a great day. It's a beautiful day, but I'm going to introduce I'm Wyoming.
I'm Peg.
I'm Linda.
And we have Cynthia.
And we have a guest.
She is our wonderful guest. She's sitting in for Charlene today. I think Charlene is out. You know, last week she had a situation with her dental and just kind of like hopefully all is well with that because that seemed like she was kind of going through a
little painful. Yes.
little painful. So, hopefully.
Growing pains.
Oh yeah, that could be
Healing pains, all those good things.
all those good things. But in the meantime, today we're going to engage in a topic that you already know. This is the first Saturday in June. Like I said, it's June already. And it's a lot. It's going on in June. I think June is packed with all kinds of stuff, y'all.
Yeah.
It's like this is Juneteenth month, which is 19th, and going to celebrate that. And we're going to be celebrating the fathers. It's time for them to, get their shine, however that's going to go.
Yes.
Our Father's Day.
It's June.
It is June. It is a Black
Music month. Yes.
It is Black Music Month. This is also a Pride Month. And there's a respect is Pride Month. So it's just a lot happening.
Birthday month.
Birthday
Everybody celebrating the birthday.
First month of the summer is creeping up and things. So June is hot. It's hot.
It's hot.
June is hot.
It's in the 90s again today because yesterday was in the 90s.
90, it was 91, 92 yesterday.
Yeah. So we're getting the beach weather. We're getting the beach weather. I'm ready to go.
I'm ready. I am so ready. As a matter of fact, let's get off and go to the beach, y'all. Sandy Point is open.
It's open. Let's just go. I say as soon as we get off, let's just take a ride. I think I need that in my life right now.
I do too.
We all do.
We all do. I'm telling you, sit by the beach and just chill and lay back and get some of that vitamin D. I think that'll be a wonderful.
All we need is some D.
We need to go down there in Florida where Cynthia is. Cynthia is in Volusia County, Florida. Is it sunny? And a lot of
close to the water there.
I don't want to say anything, but my beach is 15 minutes away, so I'm always close to the beach. So I don't want to make y'all mad because I'm close to the beach all the time. My beach is close.
So you're used to the beach. I mean, that's nothing for you.
Yeah, like I'm close to the beach all the time. I was like, let me not say anything on here.
Just say it.
I was like, I'm going to upset some people. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to upset some people.
No. But, it's just that time of the year where we really need to just get out and enjoy the sun anyway, wherever we can and however we can, and travel and do some lovely things for the summer. Anybody got summer plans? What's going on, Peggy? Where you going this summer?
I have no plans. You know
Really?
what? I think I'm gonna be going to Vegas in August. In September. I'm going to the Power Networking Conference in August. So that is really
It'll be your vacation all in one.
Yeah.
Vacation for you.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a wonderful thing. What's going on in your world, girl? Has everything all right with you?
Yeah, everything is good. I mean, I have a eye surgery for next week. So y'all guys stay with me, okay?
So
I
surgery.
I can be able to see y'all guys a little bit better.
Lord.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, girl. I'm like, okay. I woke up this morning. I'm okay with it, but I don't know what it's gonna look like on Wednesday. But
Oh wow, Peggy.
huh?
How is that going to be for? I mean, you're going to have
You know, I
lasers.
accepted it as age. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the body parts can only hold up for so long.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and so as long as they come inch by inch, I can deal with it.
I understand.
Don't come all at one time. I can't handle
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You know?
I understand.
So
But
I'm
you're
just
gonna
being
be fine.
proactive and
Mhm.
getting my eyes taken care of. So
Okay.
I can
Yeah.
see you better.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, girl.
Got to do it.
Got to do it. Anything happening then on the for Sisters network side of things?
Yeah, well, on Monday we're going to have our first face-to-face sister circle business meetup.
Mhm.
We have not done that. I mean, we came live when we did our 20th anniversary back in November.
Okay.
That was beautiful. But to actually for us to come together collectively, we've been doing everything on Zoom. So now this will be our first time collectively, and the turnout is amazing. It's
That's
working out
wonderful.
well. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So that's going to be for all the sisters now that we can gather back together and
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
So we're
good.
looking good. We got it almost close to 50.
Oh, that's good. That's a good number.
Yeah,
That's
good
a real
number.
good number. Yeah, it is.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to see everybody. I'm excited to see what they have been working on, and how we can add value to the conversation.
Okay, good, good, good. So Lynn, what's going on in your world, girl?
Well, just enjoying the sunshine when I can. But yes, this week, what I did do, I went to the Senior Fest.
Where's that?
I was out there and at the Gateway DC Pavilion, which is really the old St. Elizabeth area.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that was the Gateway, but that's exactly what it is now. And the mayor had her annual Senior Fest, so this was my first Senior Fest going to that.
Wow, beautiful!
And it was fun. It was, you had dancing and all kinds of fitness demos. You had all organizations that dealing with senior issues and food, entertainment, and you name it. And it's a huge pavilion, so it was hundreds of people there. So right on Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King Avenue.
Yeah, Martin Luther King. So that was my first time even going there, and it's still under construction or something. A lot of construction over there on the other side. But yeah, that's what I did do that, collected a lot of information, persons to bring on the show. So hopefully next week I have one particular person. She's hoping we can get her on. But yeah.
Beautiful. Good job, Linda. Good job.
Wonderful. Cynthia, we know we're going to have you speak on some things, but you have been so instrumental in what we're doing with our topic and what we're talking about today. And that is the domestic violence, because every first Saturday, this is our segment and we talk about that. And you know how much, this is still going on, relative to what's happening in our world, in our community, and everywhere that we know that we're a part of it. And we've been advocating. You've been out there on the forefront so much. You've been a part of Sister for Sisters Network and 4SistersLIVE for a minute now.
Yes.
So you're a family. You're a family,
yes.
girl. So we know you have been on the political side of it all as well.
Yes.
And the whole thing is that we appreciate you because you're standing up and standing out for this. You are serious about it, you know, and the sexual assault, and you've been speaking on domestic violence, and you've been speaking out on young girls that are trafficking and things of that nature. You're in Florida making noise, even though Florida right now is just, we would talk about, it's just you have to shake your head. And we have to, we talk about pray, but we got to do a little more than praying. Action has to come along with some of this prayer.
They have to see that we are angry. You have to see the anger.
Yeah. And so we need to talk about, because that to me is a form of abuse.
Yes.
It is. It is.
It's a form of abuse.
It's mental.
It's mental.
Yeah, it's psychological and it's mental because we're affecting our children.
Mhm.
And so we're showing our children that they are not important. They their history is not important, that the things that they do are not important, that they're all of it.
Not
All of it.
the artists, that
Yeah,
the person who wrote the books and all the literature. Just think what happens to them, how that affects them.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, it's gotten pretty vicious. pretty vicious.
That's
So
unbelievable.
yeah, all of it's gotten pretty vicious. I don't think we're showing how extreme it's gotten. I mean, now it's getting ugly to a point where our children don't even feel like they're important. And that, like you said, it's a form of abuse, mentally, psychologically, and that can cause a place in which children don't feel like, in schools, like they're not important. In the streets, they feel unimportant. And so this is a place in which they, you know, they skip school. They don't want to go back to school. They don't want to be, you know, going to class because they don't really feel like their history is not there for them.
Not there for them. And we want to know why they're acting out in a violent way.
Yeah, they don't relate to anything.
They can't relate. If we don't teach them and show them and give them the history of what they need to know as they could pass. Because, you know, when we were in school, we were learning our history. It was a part of the curriculum. We had to learn it. And that's a part of you taking that and taking it to your lineage, to your families, and to your children. You pass it on and on. This is our history. How can you erase our history?
The only people really that you can find your history is through your parents, through your grandparents, your parents that would show you things like biblically, or they would show you books about, hey, this is what our or even when they were cooking, you know, hey, this is the way that we cooked our greens, or hey, this is how grandma picked things, or hey, this is the real history, you know. This is how we really fought through all things. And now they don't feel like there's a place for them at all. They don't feel relational to anything. And so, you know, teachers are wondering why kids are acting up. Well, this is why they're acting up. How can they relate to anything when you're not giving them a place for them? You know? They're not. There's no place for them.
We can thank your governor for a lot of the things that are going on.
Yeah,
politically,
I mean,
I believe we should start boycotting going to Florida. Don't go to Florida for vacation.
Yeah,
exactly.
Don't go to the beach. Just boycott. If you believe in this, I believe. Don't go. Just don't go.
That's true. Then we got to hit them in the pockets.
Hit them right in the pockets. It's not a friendly state. Yeah. It's not a friendly state, and I just feel that you have to show them. Yeah. So it has to reach. You have to show them, because otherwise, and that gives people power. It gives people power.
Yeah. And exercise their power and their right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't go to Florida. I'm not going. Not going to Florida.
Yeah. Well, you know, but November is coming, so we'll see. And who you don't want to be in office, and we're going to talk about that.
And don't vote. Yes, for those.
Yeah, we're going to talk about. We're going to deal with that on this show about voting.
Pay attention.
We're going to have to go hard, ladies.
Vote for the right person.
We hope you get to run. We know
vote for the right person. Vote for the right person that might be going into office. Just vote for the right person.
Support you.
Vote for the right person. I just put it out there. You got to vote for the right person that is fighting.
Yes.
For all things that, you know, for all the political things that, you know, speak for you, that speak for, you know, all the right things, you know, for you, for, you know, for human rights, that are for school rights, that are fighting to put books back into the schools, that are really fighting for all the things that you want, not for people that just need a seat and are trying to just get your money.
But see, they're getting, and we're getting off a little bit on the political side, but it is all about they're pushing the DEI, and then they're talking this woke. So this is their two main issues that they want to push, and it's just unfortunate. It's about taking us out of the equation.
Exactly.
Moving us out, diminishing us who we are as a people, and hurting us and hurting our families. So all of these things is designed as to what it is to affect our community. But before we get into all of that, because this is such topic that we know all of it is abuse. This country is mentally being abused totally. Yes. That's just my stand on it. And again, like I said, today we're going to talk about domestic violence of it all, because there again, it's still going on, Cynthia, as you know, and you've been a part of this. When you do your rallies, you come to DC on Capitol Hill, and you have your rallies every year. I know that the pandemic kind of hindered that a little bit, dampened that the last year or so, but you've been so much a part of being coming to Washington DC and speaking to Congress about many things relative to this, and then you have your gala, and so all of that is just such a wonderful time for you to come and show that you're bringing people together.
Yes,
that's what you've been doing. You really have been bringing people together for such a long time. So, but before we get into everything else, I do want us to just go through our birthdays. We want to celebrate those who are out there. Hello, Shatrice. Good afternoon. All of you all, come on in, share. We are going to highlight one of the best icon musical genius who we just lost recently. And we're going to speak as it relates to domestic violence and honor her music and what she contributed so much for so many years. And that's none other than Tina Turner. Okay. So we're going to speak about some things on both sides today, what she contributed musically and how she had to deal with domestic violence throughout her life in her career. And I think that it's something that we can't hide from. This lady lived such a full life, but she lived a horrible marriage, and it took her some time to acknowledge it. She lived it, and then she decided to acknowledge it at some point when she felt. And this is what we talk about when we say something, don't live in silence. She lived in silence for such a long time until it became a part of her life. So we're going to acknowledge her today. But before we do that, we want to see who have birthdays and do we have anything going on in the community so that we can acknowledge that. Whose birthday is it coming up, Peggy, in the Sister for Sisters Network? Anybody?
Oh, you know what? We always got to celebrate, right?
Yeah.
Michelle Harvey, Wanda Washington, Dr. Megan Bird, Alicia Anderson, Dr. Lloyd Dorsey will be celebrating her birthday, Diamond Petty, and my girl Joyce Nario.
All right.
Birthday, my sister.
Oh, yeah, June babies.
Happy birthday.
This Gemini, isn't it Gemini twin? This is a twin.
It's Gemini, yes. I believe it is. Gemini.
Talking about how they look.
My girl, yes, her birthday is this month as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't you say your birthday?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Her birthday.
Birthday. Girl, happy birthday, girl.
Thank you.
Birthday. What a wonderful time you're sharing it with us today.
Yes.
So, but also we have some history. We have some Black history.
We have some historic birthdays.
Birthdays.
And information.
Yes.
Okay, our birthdays, we have Josephine Baker, our entertainer, born on the 3rd of June, 1906. We have Linda Martell, first African-American female to perform at the Grand Ole Opry, and that she was born on the 4th, 1941. Sojourner Truth, she began her career as an anti-slavery activist on June the 1st in 1843. We have Harriet Tubman, who led, of course, we know she led the Union Army guerrillas into Maryland, right around the corner here, freed more than 700 slaves in 1863. And we have did I say Josephine Baker?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have Whoopi Goldberg becomes an EGOT.
All right, Whoopi.
Having won Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony in 2002. And I don't believe I said birthday for Dr. Charles R. Drew, pioneer of blood plasma research, born in 1904.
Wow, there's such a rich history.
Job.
Yes, that is awesome. Good job,
Rich week, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got some stuff happening in the community, Peggy. What's going on? Because some things we want to be a part of, right?
Yeah, I hope Dante can pull up the slide. There is an event coming up June. There we go. June the 10th is Monte Carlo night at if you've ever been to the Country Club of Whitmore, you will love it.
Mm-hmm.
So on behalf of Leonard or Leonard, our new friend, we want to promote this and ask that you come out and help in celebration in support of the Monte Carlo night at the Country Club of Whitmore.
Mm-hmm. And that's coming up this week.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Oh, he popped up Grease. Okay. In your face again, ladies and gentlemen, back by popular demand. Grease with a side of mumbo sauce. Stage play will be coming to you September 8th, 9th, and 10th at the historical Lincoln Theater. So get your tickets. They're on sale now. There's a lot to prepare for, but we want you all to get your tickets early, as this will too sell out. Trust me, it's going to sell out. So
oh my God, yes.
I got folks coming in already from out of town say, I can get my ticket. Okay, I'll see you when you get here. Thanks, Dee. I want to, if we're done with that, I want to also acknowledge a person, and you all may have heard this this is one of my favorite comedians out there on Wild 'N Out, and this is my boy DC Youngfly. And you all may have heard of his young.
Never heard of him. DC Youngfly. Oh,
I love him. He's a wonderful comedian. If you all watch Wild 'N Out, if you
haven't watched it in a long time,
right? With Nick Cannon and all the comedians from all over, and they based out of Atlanta pretty much. But DC Youngfly, longtime girlfriend, beautiful sister of who had 3 beautiful children. She died the other day, and my heart really goes out to him. He's a wonderful young man, such a awesome comedian. He's so funny and wonderful in his own way as an artist and as a celebrity. He's a really good guy. But his girlfriend passed away in Miami. She went down to do a surgery, mommy makeover, and the complications and the surgery went wrong. And she's 32 years old. And I tell you, that thing hit everyone who knows of him and her really hard. And this is something, Linda, I want for us to
we're going to talk about this.
About these surgeries of these women, because it goes to Kanye West's mother, Donna, when she had her surgery. And
we don't realize how our bodies are not ready for those surgeries. Number one,
complications. And
complications, right? Happen.
It happens, and also the doctors. You have to look at who you're going to and who is, because you have to do your due diligence.
You got to do your research.
You have to do your due diligence on the person and on yourself. Number one, because if your body's not ready for surgery, it's not going to happen. And that's what I believe that's happening, especially with young women, because they don't realize how sick they are within their bodies. They really don't. Right. And then they want to hurry up and get their bodies snatched when all you have to do is exercise and stop eating. So
I love it.
But that's part of it, Linda. And then the other part is that they want to have this voluptuous body.
Work on it then.
After you've had a child and you have this mommy after birth, and they want to hurry up and be able to get back to where they were, and as it relates to that.
And some of them, I think, are using that as an excuse to do it too, because we didn't do that, I'm saying, because it's available now. So let's do it. This is bloated. Because the natural process of it is going to happen. Your body's going to go back
Mm-hmm.
to where it was before.
Mm-hmm.
But if you rush it, because, you know, can't fool Mother Nature. That's the way
That's
God
true.
made us. He
That's
made us
true.
to heal
That's
ourselves.
That's true.
So if you rush it, then you're going to have complications.
Yeah.
Right.
We have to talk about that.
We will talk about that. I'll find
about our young girls, our young ladies, our women.
Plastic surgeon.
About the plastic surgery. So we're going to work on that, Linda. Yes, praying for him and his family. Yes, Laverne, definitely, because he's such a fine young, and the children are so cute. They're so beautiful. It just breaks my heart to see that and hear about that. But so we want to. Did we get everything else out the way, guys? We know we talked about Juneteenth, which is coming up, and we're going to talk about that even more. How that is a part of our history as well. So we're going to get to that during that time, which is coming up in another week or so. Let's talk about Tina Turner. Tina Turner, what does she mean to you, Peggy? Because I want to ask, because I think we set the stage as to know we grew up with her, knowing her music, seeing her. She's like the Beyonce of today, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Of how she really did her thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Beyonce learned a lot from Tina.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know, you see Tina in her.
Mm-hmm.
But when I think of Tina, I think of how well she wore her pain.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
She wore it well, despite all that she went through, and it was all public. We all knew about it. She wore it well, and to be able, I was listening to a show the other day, and on the XM station, they've dedicated the whole platform to Tina. All you hear is her music, nothing else. And that says a lot to a queen. It says a lot. And so I applaud them for dedicating that time to this woman. Beautiful soul. You can tell. And they mentioned the fact that the question was asked, why did she leave the States to do her music? And her response was that she was more appreciated overseas, London and Paris and Rome. Even though she might not didn't have a hit, her music carried her through. And as a result of that, that was the reason why she didn't come back. And she moved to Switzerland.
In a huge way, they responded to her and respected her and gave her platform if they are, over there. And I think she needed that.
Exactly. You're so true, Lon.
Yeah, she needed that. And so I think that would cause her to really live her life, the rest of her life. And she remarried and she was happy.
She's happy. Bottom line.
Bottom line.
Bottom line.
Linda, what does she really mean to you?
Oh, I actually saw her and her husband perform at the Howard Theater when I was a teenager. I went to see that. I wanted to see her and I wanted to see him. And of course, you didn't recognize any of this and you just enjoyed. I just enjoyed her tremendously and him. And then as years went by and I heard the story and what she was going through and which, I just loved the fact that she stood her ground, when she got to that point, she wasn't going to take it anymore. And how she turned her life around with her religion, how she turned her life around and believed in herself.
Was that Buddha?
Yes, she's a Buddha, Buddhist. Yes, so I really admired her for the way how she trained herself and her mind to overcome. And like she took herself out of the situation and she even took herself away from the US so that she could be happy. So I admired her. She took it all in her hands and she did it herself. She did it her way. I love that about her.
It's like when you fed up, you fed up. You got to do to live out the rest of your life.
Yes.
Because literally she was dying.
She was dying
early on.
She couldn't take anymore.
Yeah, early on. And she had to just move out so she can renew herself and be a new person, a woman,
Yeah.
Cynthia, what's your take on your position of Tina Turner?
You know, I really feel like she has to be one of the most amazing artists. Not just because she sings amazing, but because she has to be the most powerful person to endure so much. She has to have had to endure physiologically and mental issues in her life. But as a woman herself, as being a woman dealing with psychological issues, manipulation, and also a mother who accepted children that were not hers, you know, and being able to say, I want you to come with me because I love you and I care for you. She has to be the strongest woman I have ever seen, you know, that had endured something so strenuous. I mean, she really did endure so much. And to be an artist on stage, because
that's what I was just getting ready to say.
I mean,
to hide all of that while you have to
wow.
perform in front of millions of people to show them that you have to switch that on
and switch
on
it back.
another stage,
I mean,
and then a whole nother situation with
right.
stage
It's
immediately.
like how, you know, it was like
that.
so like she was such a strong person. Like that was something else. You know, the when I saw the movie and I saw the part that he came to get her at the hospital when you just gave birth, and then to go straight out back on the road to be back on stage as soon as you had a baby. That's
you have not even healed.
Yeah, I mean, you're not healed, but you're a strong woman to go back on stage literally 24 hours or 48 hours after you had your baby. Man, that's strong. I mean, you're a strong woman. And
absolutely. I want to read her bio, then we're going to switch over to, you know, to the other side of talking about her domestic side of her life. But Tina Turner, she was born as Anna Mae Bullock. I wonder if she's in relation to Sharon Bullock. We got to figure that out.
I thought about that the other day.
Right. And she was an American-born singer. We were known as a queen of rock and roll. She rose to prominence as the lead singer of the Icon Tina Turner Revue. Before launching a successful career as a solo performer, she was noted for her swagger, sensuality, powerful, gravelly vocals, and unstoppable energy, along with her well-publicized history with her ex-husband, Ike Tina, and her famous legs. And in 1980, she launched one of the greatest comebacks in the music history while we're honoring her today for her music. In 1984, she had a multi-platinum album, Private Dancer, and that contained the hit songs What Love Got to Do with It, and she won the Grammy for the recording of that for that year of the Grammy, one of the songs on the top Billboard 100. And she has so many songs. I mean, songs You Better Be Good to Me, Private Dancer, We Don't Need Another Hero. I mean, the list goes on, and Simply the Best. The lady just had it going on and on and on, and she recorded in the midst of chaos.
Yes.
She recorded in the midst of her life being chaos. Do we have a picture of her, Dante? Because I know we, want to acknowledge her. Yes, Tina Turner, 1939 to 2023. Born Tina Marie, born as Anna Mae Bullock, and November 26, 1939.
She's a November baby, huh?
Oh, yeah. So let's hear this. If you got that, I want to hear this, Dante, if you got it up for us to hear. Thank you.
Stage where Oprah, you can get emotional when you start to talk about that. To be able to
turn it up.
This stage and say, even when it's time to leave and go to another planet, excited about that because I'm curious. Nobody can tell you, because nobody has come back to. So I'm not excited to die, but I don't regret it when it's time for me. I've done what I came here to do, and I'm happy. But I am at a stage where, Oprah, you can get emotional when you start to talk about that. To be able to get to this stage and say, even when it's time to leave and go to another planet, excited about that because I'm curious. Nobody can tell you.
Yeah.
Because nobody has come back.
So that's it, D. But this is her, this is how she, thank you, Dante, spoke about her, she was, yes, her illness and what she knew even before it was time, but continued to live on anyway.
Yeah.
Continued to live her life. I saw the documentary, and if we ever get a chance to, ladies, just sit down and watch it because it is amazing. And I also saw the documentary of Ike Turner, and now I understand what was wrong with him. He had mental issues. He was bipolar. He grew up watching his mom. That was his life. You know what I mean? Talent has nothing to do with how crazy you could be, what's going on with you, how mentally ill you are, whatever. Talent is talent, gifts are your gifts. But if you're not challenging that, and whatever however you may have been born into, a situation dictates how you are as a person, your personality, your character. But he was brilliant, and you can't take that away musically. Musically, but he was bipolar, and he lived a life of watching his mother beat his father, and his mother really was abusive to him. So again, he lived this as a child growing up, and this is what all he pretty much knew. And music. Okay. And this is something that when we are out here, Cynthia, as women, and we're doing these things, our career, that lets you know, you could be a career woman and you could be living hell at home.
Yeah. And I really think just by him saying, well, I have bipolar, I really think he had bipolar and he had a small amount of schizophrenia. You know, because bipolar can cause shifts of mood and energy, levels, but schizophrenia, you lose touch of reality. And when you do that, a bipolar person who has shifts of schizophrenia that are connected together, they and he was doing so many drugs. I mean, so much. He was doing so much. You can experience like issues of psychosis with mania and depression. And the thing about that is that the causes can cause schizoaffective disorder, and that can cause genetic environmental factors and can increase your issues of mental illness. And the issues around him can cause a lot of issues, really bad issues, which can cause all the people that are around him, like he won't know what's going on. What am I doing? Like one moment he could be very happy, and then the next moment he can be really sad. Now, if he's increasing that with cocaine,
all of that
extremely violent.
Okay.
Now bipolar is already violent, but if you hit that with a little bit of schizophrenia, oh my goodness, you are now like extremely violent. And
that's heightening you up even more to another level with your mind, and when you're going out somewhere, and that gives you that
those chemicals in the brain.
It makes you think that you're this hero kind of a person now, that you can be a man. If that makes you make a man, be a man.
He's got this superhero complex in which he feels like no one can touch me. And when he talks to another person, especially his wife, he will say, it's about me. You're going to listen to me. It's all about me. And with his bipolar complex, if you are his heightened mental issue, it's going to be extremely offsetting, in which his mood is going to be like really nice one moment and really scary. Crazy another moment, which can really not help the children because they'll think, well, daddy's really, really nice. And then the next moment they'll think he's really crazy. It's the same thing that maybe Tina thought too. Well, one moment, especially when she was being sexually assaulted, boy, he really loves me. And then the next minute, he was raping her. You know?
Yeah, I want to read something, but if Dante had the video, because you know the movie of What Love Got to Do with It. That particular scene of her going in that hotel after he had beaten her, was just too much for me. I literally cried when I first saw it.
Yeah, and if anyone's watching this, please know there's triggers.
yeah, it is. We're gonna show a little bit of that just because. Go ahead, Dante.
Poor thing.
Thank you, Dante. That was a turning point for her.
Yeah.
I believe.
That was the hand on the knob. I always tell women or even men, there's people, they have to know there's people who you have to know when you're ready. It's their hand on the doorknob. There's people that say, I'm ready to leave, and they're not ready. But when they're ready, it's the hand on the doorknob moment. And that was that hand on the doorknob moment.
Yeah.
That was it. That was the hand on the doorknob.
This is what she had written. When Tina Turner first spoke out about the violence she endured during her marriage to Ike Tina, it was an act of bravery to expose herself so publicly. She said, I was insanely afraid of that man. She told the People magazine at the time, revealing the painful reality behind the hugely successful musical duo. Tina's scorching description of their marriage included being made to watch a live sex show in a brothel on their wedding night and being beaten with a shoe stretcher while she was pregnant. She also spoke about Ike throwing scalding hot coffee at her, and of being brutalized with a coat hanger in her in 1968. She tried to take her own life then. She said, I was afraid to put it out, to talk about her abuse, because she knew she was afraid of him and what would become of that as a result of her telling people how he even treated her. The way we talked about, he didn't have any respect for her.
Right. And that all comes along with schizophrenics. Schizophrenics will do that. Bipolar, not so much. And that's why she says both bipolar, which I agree. But I think, I really think he might have had schizophrenia too. I think he might have had a small amount of schizophrenia.
Yeah. And so this is, and I think, Linda, ladies, I think women who get abused, kicked, hit, slapped, thrown around in your head, in your face, kicked, treated like this, I think internally you begin to develop cancer.
Oh yeah.
Your body starts going through
stress of
stress. Yes. Over time.
And then the fact that, learning about, what you just said about his mother and how his mother treated his father and vice versa. All that's still in his mind too, because he grew up seeing that. So that's what he learned. What they see is what
learned behavior.
It's learned behavior.
Right.
And then, we question about our kids. Why are kids responding and acting out the way they are?
Right.
It's because what they see in the household.
Is what they're seeing in the household, all the way, even up to now, even to now.
Right.
What are they seeing in the household, and what are they giving, and now they're taking it to the schools.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just blown away of what is happening in the schools.
Right.
But then you have to go back and look at all that is trailing from the family. Where's the love in the family? That blows me away.
It's just so much going on. On another part of our segment, education, we're going to need to talk about our children and where we are. We have to talk about these things because we cannot sit back and not say anything because we know it's happening every day. We have to ask even some parents what's going on because some of the parents, believe it or not, are afraid of their own child.
They're afraid of the kids. Exactly.
They're afraid of their own child.
Yep.
And so this is a lot that's going on, interestingly enough. But I want to segue. We definitely our prayers continue in acknowledgement for our Tina Turner, of course. But Cynthia, you are CEO and you deal with cognitive behavior as a therapist, psychotherapist, psychodynamic therapy, speaker, advocate, and everything. What does that mean, being the therapist?
Yeah, so I'm a cognitive behavioral therapist, a psychodynamic psychotherapist, and so cognitive behavioral therapists, we deal more with behavioral issues. And so we want to get down to the nitty gritty, pretty much. Want to find out exactly what's going on behaviorally in your life. How can we get to the goals that we can mentally go through? How can we meet the issues that are going on in your life? What really happened in the beginning so that we can meet, expectations within your goals to get there. A lot of people don't know how it started. How did it start? How can we meet those expectations so that you can get to a place of healthy living? And so that's where our goals are when they come to anybody, whether we're doing marriage counseling or whether I'm doing teen counseling or individualized counseling, sexual assault, domestic violence, doesn't matter. What we get to is a place of is where did it begin? They don't know. They go, well, I don't know where it began. So let's start there. Let's start at the very beginning because a lot of people go, I have no idea. Then we find out that it starts from, well, my dad or my mom, my uncle did this, or my brother or my sister. We really have to start from a place where it starts to heal there. We have to start in a healing place, or maybe they lost somebody. I lost a person that really meant something to me and they never healed from that. And so we have to find a place in which they let go of those places that are broken so that they can continue on healing. And that's where I'm really help people to progress and move on, and really find a place of healing. Really, that's where I do. I want them to heal. I want people to heal, and not just heal holistically, because people are doctors are so quick to want to prescribe things. I don't want that. I want you to heal naturally.
Yeah, but someone just mentioned that in one of our comments, that we got to get to the point where we can heal holistically. You'll be about addressing that, because people need to know what it takes. Everything is not medicated.
Right.
Everything is not to be done in that respect, so people need to understand how that is to be done and share that. So talk to us also about the military, because it's happening so much in so many areas, but give us a little bit of background on this military of what's happening.
Yeah, so I was a victim of military domestic violence. I was also sexually assaulted by my ex-husband in Cherry Point, North Carolina, when we were stationed there. And so that was 28 years ago, so I forgot. And my son just turned 28 years old in April. I was pregnant at the time. We were stationed in Cherry Point, and he didn't become violent, really, really violent. And I didn't look at the red flags until I became pregnant with my oldest son, Joseph. And he would abuse me, hit me, sexually assault me, and I was pregnant with my son. He would take the air out of the tires. He would do everything in his power so that I could not leave our home, our little double wide thing that we were living in. He actually, when he really realized that I was pregnant at the time, he didn't want to live on base. He wanted to get out of base so that he could do these things. You know, he would keep food from me. And the thing is, when you're domestically abused in the military, I wanted to explain is that you have it's almost like a different animal. A person who's being domestically abused as a civilian is different than you being abused in the military. You have to follow the chain of command almost yourself, you know, and you have to go into file things with the MPs, go and talk to the NCOs. You got to talk to his, staff sergeants or whoever. Go talk to the chaplains. By the time you go to one building and the next building, and they all know your story.
Oh, wow.
And you really don't have anyone who really stands in for you.
Yeah.
Or helps you.
Does it seem like that you had no protection?
None at all. None at all. And the thing is that we have a higher rate of families that are domestically abused, and people don't seem to understand that we have a higher rate of families who are domestically abused than there are domestic violence in civilians. And I think they keep the statistics, are way off. So I think that there was about 17,000 recorded incidents of domestic abuse
in the military.
In the military, yes.
I can imagine.
Yeah, and the thing is those rates are really off because the DOD. So that's in the Army. That's just Army. The 17 is just in the Army. The DOD is recording 42,000 cases. And when I say DOD, that's the Department of Defense. And that number is so off because when we look at the rates that NBC did and we look at the rates that the DOD did, the NBC really went really deep into what's going on and sexual assault and domestic violence. And they looked at it as, wait a minute, there's 80,000.
Wow. Wow.
There's 80,000.
Peggy, can you believe these numbers?
That's unbelievable. This is
I can. I've heard some stories, and I've heard quite a few folks that have been in the military and what they deal with. And you said it so well, Cynthia. It's behind closed doors. You separate from the public.
It's another world.
It is totally
world.
It's another world.
And they're going to do as much as they can to keep it behind closed doors, behind the gates. Okay. And you notice lately you've been hearing stories that has been happening. It got out, and I don't think they meant it to get out.
Yeah.
That was their way of keeping behind that gate.
Just recently seemed like someone was killed. Someone died.
Yeah. And the thing is because it's on a federal installation, the federal installation does not need to share any information because it's on a federal installation.
It's protected.
They do not have to share information with any civilians at all. They don't have to. And so what happened, the whole thing that happened with Vanessa Guillen over at Fort Hood, it was because the family was out there like really rallying. There was also nonprofits that were also on their side. There was a lot of people sharing on and saying, you have to let us know. And then there was NBC, ABC, CNN, all of them. And that's what pushed really the federal government to say, okay, we really have to like get on top of this. But they have lied so much, really lied so much that it got it got them their buns burning, that they really started to share information, but it wasn't until the end of it, like the end of it, when they found her body. And the body didn't get found by the federal government. It was found by a nonprofit. And so that's what happened. Her body got found by a nonprofit that really got found Vanessa Guillen's body. And so really the federal government, the installation wasn't doing their due diligence to find the body of Vanessa Guillen. And that's what happened. And now many people are dying at Fort Hood, Fort Bliss. You know, there's people that are getting sexually assaulted in Fort Jackson. Fort Lee has a lot of issues there. And so what's going on? These are the issues that we are trying to deal with. There's no accountability. There's no oversight committees, none of that. And so that's what we're trying to fight, is that there needs to be an oversight committee, which is what we are trying to do. We need to have a civilian oversight committee that oversees all of these bases, you know, that has retired police officers who are trustworthy, retired CIA, retired, you know, judges who are also trustworthy, you know, retired JAGs. And so there's no oversight committee.
Wow,
so,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
That is so interesting. That
investigate themselves.
They do. That's what they do.
Yeah.
You know, that's what they do. The commanders go, okay, it's all right.
Yeah.
She got sexually assaulted. It's okay. Let's just send her to another base.
Yeah. This is terrible.
They just smack them on the hand and send them for like 30 days to the brig and send the girl who's been sexually assaulted. They send her to another base. Oh my gosh, it's so horrible. I feel so bad because she's mentally destroyed. She gets no mental access to no therapist. So she gets sent home for like maybe 2 weeks, and then she gets transferred to another base, and then she wants to commit suicide. That happened to a girl who I know, not that I know, but that happened to a case in which she got sexually assaulted. And when she went to Kuwait, she got sexually assaulted by 7 officers in Kuwait. When she got back, she did a report, and then they were like, okay, we got your report. Then she went to Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, 4 more officers raped her.
This is a problem. This is a huge situation here. This is very huge. This is huge. And it's horrible. And see, this is the things that we don't know about publicly. We're not being told these things. And only if you're in where Cynthia stands and what she's advocating for and how she's involved, only that you will kind of know these things. And it's shocking to many people, may not be shocking to those who are in the military and who've experienced this, but this is how it is. But y'all know we can go on and on and on about this subject of domestic violence because it's happening every day. Time be flying for us every time we get to talk about this. And Cynthia,
we just got started.
We just got started. I know. And it just really is something that we need to know. I mean,
and Cynthia, talk about her a little bit. I guess we only have it a second, but your congressional congressional things, what you're doing on the Hill, which is important.
We have a minute left for that. And then I want
so you know, like we always do, we're going to be walking from the White House to the Washington Capitol. That's going to be September 30th, because October 1st is going to be on, I think it's on a Monday, and we don't want to do that to you guys. So we're going to be on the 30th this year, and we're going to walk again from the White House to the Washington Capitol. Please gather together. Bring your nonprofits. Bring everyone that you want, and wear purple. It's imperative that you wear purple. So we're going to do that. And then we have a change.org. We have a petition that has been started, and we have a link. Please go there and sign the link, because we really need all the help. It's going to be about the oversight committee, and we need to have as many signatures as possible, because we want to talk to the Armed Forces Committee. We need it. you know, and I really want to go and talk to these people.
Well, we're looking forward to you coming back by September, so we can talk more about that, the event itself. When you get your flyer, please share it so we can share it in enough time so we can start gathering people and rallying around you.
And the petition as well. Send us the petition.
Change.org.
Yes, I sent it to you guys. Yes.
We thank you so much. We love you and appreciate you for coming.
Yeah.
And we will definitely see you again real soon. And you continue to be safe out there in Florida and continue to stay out there on the fight, girl. We with you. Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you,
love you guys. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate you guys.
So we have next week, ladies and gentlemen, is our health and wellness, and that is headed up by our girl Linda. Linda, you have anybody coming on next week?
Of course I will, but I can't tell you right now.
Okay, well, we don't know who it is. Anyway,
special is coming on.
Oh, you got somebody special coming? Okay.
Yeah, but just we got to make sure it's for
top
sure.
secret, huh?
Top secret. Oh, okay. Well, I get it. But anyway, it's been a wonderful time, and we already know that we will be back here next Saturday. But speaking of time, what time is it? It's time for you
to walk
in
your purpose and
prosperity. Thank you all for watching. Next week we're out. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.